Well, last week's game against Jackson was a very hard-fought football game on both sides, a very good football game. We had some bad weather. We were suspended for 30 minutes, and teams came back out and kept slugging away. We feel very fortunate to be able to get out of there with a win. From a statistics standpoint, Jackson beat us all up and down the field from rushing. Wasn't a whole lot of passes thrown. It was two teams running the football. And, we made a lot of improvements in the red zone, and I think that was big for us this week. We made improvements on penalties. We've gone from 17 to 4 in this particular ball game, but it was a good football game against two good football teams. I have a lot of respect for Coach Kamaji, of course, and his staff, and they came in ready to play. And I was glad that my team also came in ready to play, and that's what I preach to them. We really don't worry about other folks. We just do what we do, and we'll let the chips fall at the end. And so we're very glad to have that victory.
All right, and you have the week off coming up this week. Do you have any injuries that really need to be rested up on this week?
Well, we're going to the 7th week. There's always little boo-boos and guys that needs rest. We will continue to work this week. For the most part, I will give them some days off at the end of the week. But we will start back working today, getting ready for Southern in 2 weeks. But we don't have any key injuries of anyone that needs rest. But all my boys need rest. They've been playing hard for us all year. And the thing that we don't want to do is have a lax. So we'll continue to work this week and get ready for Southern next week. And I will give them some days off.
All right. We have questions for Coach Monte Coleman from Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Coach Coleman, I see Morrell, Pine Bluff Commercial. Hey, I know how you doing. Hey, I know you got to be happy with Jerron Harris getting Defensive Player of the Week. Just talk to me about him being able to get that award. And does he seem like back to his best form, you think?
Well, I wasn't aware that he was Offensive Player of the Week, I see, so that's news to me, and I am very glad that he received those honors. That young man came to us as a true freshman 2 years ago. He was hindered with a hamstring last year and didn't play the whole season. But when he's going, he's going. He played well this week for us against Jackson, and he's getting back to his natural form as a freshman. He was a preseason All-American going into his sophomore year. He was first-team All-SWAC linebacker his freshman year. And he's starting to get back into the form of not babying that leg. He still have a little psychological problem with that leg, thinking something may happen to it. But he's running to the football, and that's the one thing that kid can do. He can flat out run to the football.
Yeah. Xavier Lawton for you. He had about as many tackles as Harris did. He had 15, and Harris had 15. Is that something that you saw Xavier could really do when you moved him up into the starting lineup?
Yeah, he showed us that for the last 2 years. We had another gentleman by the name of Joe Dalton who was starting in front of him, and it was just a matter of time of Joe graduating, so Xavier could get his light in the sun. And with circumstances, this year Joe is not on the football team, and Xavier is now thrusted into a position of the will linebacker, and he's played consistent for us the entire season. He's having an excellent football year. Now, I couldn't have anticipated him playing this well his first time playing SWAC football, but he's fit right in everything that we're doing and playing very well for us.
Right. And your plans for the off week, you said you're going to give you guys some time off at the end of the week, so practice schedule is going to be pretty much normal this week, except maybe for Saturday or something, or Sunday or something like that.
We'll go same time. We'll back out some of the drills and stuff that we do, but we will work on our specifics and individual and things like that. And I'll give them a couple of days off at the end of the week, but we will be working this week to get better.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
More questions for Coach Coleman.
Hey, Coach Coleman, good morning. Charles Edmond from WPRL.
Good morning, Charles.
You talked about the reduction in the penalties as you get into your bye week. What are some other areas of concern for your team?
Well, one of the areas, especially after this game, Charles, is our run game, run defense, I should say. We gave up way too many yards on the run. Jackson came in, they ran the football. Their quarterback had 105 yards. The two running backs had 104, 102. 300 some yards rushing. That's not typical of our defense. We normally play the run very well, but they had a very good scheme. So we will be putting a lot of emphasis on our run defense this week, and that's a big concern.
Have you ever been involved in a game in which either on the winning side or the losing side where a team has had not one, not two, but three 100-yard rushers?
Not that I can remember. Not that I can remember. I feel very fortunate to come out of that game with a victory. Normally when the team rushes the football like that, the time of possession is going to be in their favor, and in a lot of cases they come out and they win the football game. I guess we struck fast. I really don't know. I've seen the film, and it still amazes me how we got that one. But I'm very glad that we did.
Considering how well you guys are playing and with the bye week coming up to get healthy and working on some things, what do you tell your team to kind of keep them on a level playing field?
Well, we got to be realistic. It is a bye week, but we've got to approach it as if we've got a game this week, and that's what I'll convey to them today in our meeting, that we've got to play or we got to practice this week as if we've got a game. We can't mentally lose it, and a lot of times within a bye week, that's what happens. I mean, the physical part is there. It's the mental part that you lose in a bye week, and the things that we can't do this week, knowing that we don't have a game, is just get lackadaisical in practice and just kind of go through the motions. We've got to stay intense, and those are the things that I'll tell our team today in our team meeting, that it's got to be business as usual, even though we don't have a game this week.
Yeah, what is the difference in your team, just the way they carry themselves and going about their business this year than last year when you got off to a pretty good start as well?
I think there's two things, Charles. The first thing is trust. I think they're trusting each other. And the other thing is believing. I think they're believing because of the success that we've had thus far. They believe we can win. And they go out and they practice extremely hard. And my old, I won't say mentor, but my old coach, Joe Gibbs, his philosophy was you play like you practice. And that's one of the things that we're doing well. We're practicing well. So it's kind of carrying over for us on Saturday. Hey, Annie, yo. Hello. Hello.
Hello, Coach Coleman.
I'm still here.
Oh, okay. Do we have any more questions for Coach Coleman? I have one quick one for you. Talk about the job done by Dennis Jenkins this weekend, 154 yards rushing, pair of touchdowns.
Well, we've got several running backs, and I take my hat off to all of those guys because it's very easily they could be sitting back pouting because they're not the marquee guy this week or not carrying the number of balls this week. A couple 2 weeks ago, it was Aaron LeGrone. A couple weeks ago, it was Justin Billings. Now this game here, it was Dennis Jenkins. So, each guy each week has contributed to us, and it was Dennis Jenkins' turn this week, and he came through with flying colors. 24 carries for 154 yards and the 2 touchdowns was big for us, and that's just when we needed him to run the football well. Because Billings broke his nose in one of the plays and wasn't able to go. LeGrone came in and played for us and had 53 yards, but it was Jenkins' night to carry the load for us, and he, like I said, he came through with flying colors. So we're very happy for him. I'm glad his attitude, as far as teamwork attitude, and when his number was called, he produced for us.
All right. Thanks, Coach, for joining us this morning. Congratulations once again on your win over the weekend. Once again, the Golden Lions are off this week, and next up will be on October 20th at Southern. That game has a 6 o'clock kickoff. Once again, congratulations, Coach. Thanks for joining us, and we'll speak with you again next month.